I should be writing number 445.
But I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there. Welcome to I Should Be Writing, the podcast for wannabe fiction writers. I'm your host, Mer Lafferty. And if you're getting this off of my website, I apologize. I put it on the wrong feed. Well, actually, if you get this from the feed, I apologize, because I accidentally uploaded a couple of episodes to the Ditch Diggers feed and had to republish them this weekend. So if your podcatcher got confused, that's all on me, and I'm very sorry. But I had an epiphany yesterday. I kept thinking about how we all let other people decide whether we are good writers or bad writers or worthy writers. And I think it's because we're trained to respect authority. You know, it's like, okay, well, the store is closed. You can't go inside. Okay. Only people who pay money to join the club may come in. Okay. You can't drive on the left if you live in the United States. Okay. No is an important word. It gives you power over your own body and time. You expect others to respect when you say, "Don't do that to me." Okay. Will you do this really time-consuming thing for me? No. Okay. Yes, other people push. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how, in theory, this is what we do when people say no. It's respect. It's keeping a civilized world. It establishes the boundaries around which we're allowed to go. And when people talk about editors and publishers, they call them gatekeepers. And I get that. But the thing is, when someone rejects you, they're not saying no. They're saying not here and not now. And just think about that. Because I've said it before, they can't stop you from publishing elsewhere. They can't stop you from self-publishing the ebook, or even going through all the work it takes to self-publish the print book. They can't stop you from submitting somewhere else. They can't stop you from self-publishing the audiobook or podcasting it, or making it a geocaching prize serial. That sounds interesting. Do people still do geocaching? I don't know. But we always talk about publishing being these grand gatekeepers. Like there's this wall between us and them. And there's only here and there. It's very binary. And that's not the case. If Tor says no, we don't want your book, they're saying not this publisher and or not right now. They're not saying you suck and will fail ultimately and will never have a fan, will never write anything worthwhile. Unfortunately, that's what we hear. We hear the judgment. We hear your story sucks and you suck and you didn't do a good job and you didn't work hard enough. When really what they're saying is not here and not now. Why I add on the not now is because, and I can speak from experience as an editor, sometimes very similar stories will come in. And if you buy one of them, then the other one, well, you just bought one just like it. And publishers usually don't like to release two very similar things. So that's the not now. I think this is a very important distinction. I've been trying to learn how to say no more often and learn the power of it. Women are trained to placate and soften things and all that, and I'm trying just to learn to say no, not, "Oh, I'm so sorry, no, I can't do that because of this, that, and the other." It's a powerful word, and it's good for reclaiming your time. But you got to understand when you hear no, that's not what people are saying. And you should not treat your rejections as no. They're not telling you can't be a writer. They're not telling you that you write poorly. They're not telling you that your story sucks. So hold on to that thought. This is why perseverance is the strongest aspect of successful writers, because a lot of people just give up. They finally hear enough rejections and decide that they all mean no, you can't be a writer. So that's my thinking. I'm still trying to get my mind around it. It's hard to, I had the epiphany, but I'm still kind of working it through. So if you find yourself being downtrodden by rejections, then maybe write a little note to yourself that says no means not today and not here. And I'm not going to say no doesn't mean no, because that's a awkward thing that gets into bodily autonomy and consent and all that. And this is not having anything to do with that. Please understand. When it comes to personal boundaries, no means no always. When it comes to working on your creative field and trying to break into publishing or whatever creative work you're doing, no means not here and not now. But it doesn't mean no. It doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean you suck. So I am not sponsored by anybody. My wonderful patrons support the show. And if you would like to be one of them, you can support the Patreon at patreon.com/mightymur. But I'm putting that in there because the things that I recommend now and during NaNoWriMo, where I'm going to be doing the self-care toolkit for authors, everything I mention is something that I use or I like. And I'm not being compensated. I have not received anything for free. It really is a personal testimony. That said, the website For the Words, I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's numeral 4, The Words. It is an RPG kind of site where you write the words on the website, and it tracks your words per minute. And the goal, usually you choose a beastie to fight against. So, let's say this specific monster, you have to write 200 words in an hour. So you open up your document, the timer starts, and when you hit 200 words, you get a little note saying, hey, you beat this monster, and you get experience points. So if you know anything about RPGs or gaming, then you should understand how the gamification works here, because you have different quests and different drops that you want the monsters to make, and so if you want a certain item, you gotta fight a certain beastie, and sometimes beasties are like 2,000 words in 2 hours kind of thing. It's like really challenging. But it's fun, and they usually do something special for NaNoWriMo. I haven't looked closely at the site because I just had to renew my membership. I believe that you get a month for free, and then you have to pay to continue to write on the site. And how much is it? I will say one thing for this site, it's not really easy to navigate. It's about $4 a month. And strangely enough, you buy crystals and then you pay for your subscription time in crystals. And I'm sure there's a gamification reason for this, but I don't know what it is. Maybe you get a couple more crystals the more you buy. So it's like 44 crystals, which pays for a month, for $4, but 99 crystals for $8. That's where they get you. 1,500 crystals is $100. But I'm going to be there. My username is Mighty Mur. If you want to make friends, there's a forum, there's challenges. It's a lot of fun, and it really helps during NaNoWriMo because they're doing something special. It's called Something Strange in Our Skies. The event starts on November 1st. But one thing that's neat is they have this they have a set of, where'd they go? Dang it, I'm not sure where it went. As I said, it's not the easiest site to manage, to wander around, but they do have interesting downloadables, such as desktop wallpaper that show the October calendar or the November calendar and then how many words you need per day. But they have the standard NaNoWriMo words, 1667 for day one, etc., etc. But they do have double NaNoWriMo. So day one is 3,334. And they have reverse NaNoWriMo, which is the really interesting one where it starts out where you do, I can't remember the number, it's 3,000 something. And then the next day you do a little bit less. And so on the final day you're doing one word, which I think is kind of silly because when it comes to just one word, you can usually pretty much tack that onto any other day. But that's how they have it worked out. So it's an interesting site. I recommend it. That is my advice for the day, or recommendation. But if you want to see the blog and show notes, it's at murverse.com. mightymur@gmail.com is the email address, and Twitter is @mightymur. Unfortunately, sometimes I'm way too much on Twitter, and sometimes I'm not there enough. I'm having trouble finding a happy medium, and I really need to do that in NaNoWriMo time. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you're getting ready for NaNoWriMo. And if not, I hope you can keep writing through the month of the rest of us talking about it. Because you should be writing, whether you're doing NaNoWriMo or not. Remember, you can support the show at patreon.com/mightymur. I should be writing theme music provided by John Anelio. You can find more about him at johnanelio.com. This podcast is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike license.
The fact that Doctor Who is on TV.